Welcome back to Fishing the Ocean State. Charter Captain Jim White, also an author, he wrote Monster Shallow Water Stripers. If you read this, maybe you can get some big bass in some skinny water. Of course, you need to have the right lures to do that. And say you also like to fish fresh water once in a while and you want to have one tackle box. Well, here's some suggestions from Jim.
This one's from Pro Strike. It's actually a freshwater bait, but we've had good luck with it. They're heavy, these jointed baits. It's got a rubber tail. They're a heavy bait. You can use them in the surf, you can use them from a boat. I crimp my leaders on this because I don't want any knots to come undone. Right? I fish it with braid. We're fishing a heavy swim bait rod. This is a Quantum Tour Edition swim bait rod at 7-Eleven with a Quantum iron reel and 50-pound test braid. These things are making a big splash in salt water. They were actually designed for freshwater. This is a nice heavy bait. You get a good cast with it, and they really work really, really well. Give them a try. This looks as close to a menhaden, I think, as you can get. And the action to this thing in this little rubber tail is just incredible. I was fishing the islands at 10:30 in the morning on a clear, sunny day, blue sky, just like this. I started casting this, and I caught 17 stripers up to 35 pounds in a very short period of time. This is another one made, this is made by Sabile. It's called a Bongo Jerk. We've had good luck with this one here in rainbow trout color. It kind of looks like, I'm going to guess, a small weak fish. We do have an awful lot of small weak fish in the bay, believe it or not. They're very heavy. You got to fish these things with heavy tackle. And when you do get a fish, you hold on, because I almost lost my rod and reel on the first fish I caught on this. I couldn't believe how they attacked it. One of the nicest swim baits out there today now is the Yum Money Minnow. There's a whole range of them. These are all made for salt water. They're soft plastic swim baits, and they work really, really good for striped bass. Obviously, you don't want to use these things when there's bluefish around. I use these mostly in the spring and very late in the fall when most of the bluefish are gone. Rigged with an 8/0. This is a new Eagle Claw, what they're calling a laser trocar hook. It's chemically sharpened. This is so sharp that it's unbelievable. You can actually cut yourself just by touching the end of it. You get good penetration fast, right? The other thing I like about it is, notice, and this came out of freshwater, these wide bites. And you notice on a lot of the jigs being manufactured today, they've all gone to the wide bite hook shank. The reason for that is it's harder for the fish to throw the hook. He gets this in his jaw, and you sort of got a pivot point here. It's not that straight, regular O'Shaughnessy, just a quick bend to the hook. He's got a pivot point. So it was actually developed by freshwater fishermen because largemouth bass tend to jump a lot. They don't want to lose the fish. It started with the jig and pig area, the stuff that they did, and now it's morphed into all aspects of all types of fishing, even into these types of hooks. When you rig it, you want to have this thing hanging straight, just like if you were to fish a plastic worm. You can see the nice action that this has. That tail's going, it sinks and dots and dives like a real dying bait. Don't be afraid of using freshwater baits such as this in salt water, because they work. You can actually pick things out today where you can have one box and go freshwater and salt water. You can use the same box in the morning in the bay and the same box in the evening in fresh water. Here's a smaller Yum-sized minnow that would be, suitable for stripers, but it also works for largemouth bass as well. They got great action to them. This is another one that came out of fresh water. They called it the clacker rig, I believe, when it first came. So here's two baits you can have in your box. You can catch stripers in the morning, and you can catch largemouth in the afternoon, and they all work.